part of our project I Can't Quit. We are here with
Crisandra Richardson.
Wow, phenomenal entrepreneur and mother. We're going to try to get her past this little shyness thing that she obviously has here.
Yes, I'm super shy, very shy.
But we definitely want to take this opportunity to get to know who you are.
Oh, man.
And why you do what you do.
Why do I do it?
And why can't you quit?
Why
can't you just be sensible and go get a job
I
like
know,
somebody
right?
with
We're staying in bed all day, right?
There you go. So, tell us, who are you?
So, I am Crisandra Richardson, and I am actually a personal brand photographer. My business is called Never Ever Wonderland Photography, and just a quick little backspace on that. So my daughter's name is Allison, and when I thought of my photography name, I was thinking of Alice in Wonderland and Never Neverland from Peter Pan, and I just thought of Never Ever Wonderland. And I don't like the generic your name / photography, Crisandra Richardson's photography, everybody does that, so I had to be creative in some way. And even though it's a mouthful, my name's a mouthful already, so I figured to stick with the Never Ever Photography. Never Ever Wonderland Photography. But so what I do when I started was, I was like, what am I going to do for photography? Am I going to do newborns? Am I going to do families? Am I going to do just kids? Am I going to do seniors? When you think of photographer, it's general photography. We cover every type of basis. So I was like, I need to niche a little bit. So I've delved into the world of personal brand photography. So that usually deals with small businesses, entrepreneurs, influencers, anybody who creates something, maybe makes something, needs some behind the shots type thing. That's what I cover. That's what I like to do. But then I left weddings and couples because those are fun, and everybody's always asking me, hey, can you do family pictures? And I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? I know how, so why not? But my specialty, what I want to do more, is personal brand photography.
Fantastic. So I would ask you, what is the passion? What drives that?
The passion. Okay, so let's rewind again. So when I was in high school, I had this friend, and she actually took a Photoshop class in high school, and all of her friends were introverted, and as you guys can already tell, I'm very extroverted. So when she needed somebody to be her model, I was said model, and let me tell you, the outfits that I had to wear, I was dressed up as a jester. I had my hair in a funky, weird way, and I had this face mask on, and all these crazy clothes, just to be her muse. I was her subject. She took pictures, and it helped her class, and she got good grades, so it worked out. But one of her shoots that we did, I noticed that she switched her lens off her camera, and for whatever reason, I'd never seen that before. I was always used to the little ones where the power shoot ones where you push the button, the lens it comes out of it. But I was like, you took your lens off your camera? She was like, yeah. And I was like, what kind of camera is that? She's like, it's a DSLR. And I was like, wow. And then I would watch her edit pictures, and I was like, oh my gosh, how are you changing eye colors, and how are you doing the backgrounds? And I just got fascinated with everything photography. I was like, wow, it was such a cool world where you can take one picture and basically make it whatever it is that you wanted, if you wanted to. So after she graduated, I graduated, and then a couple years I got into photography. My parents bought me my first camera when I was 18 or 19 years old, give or take a year. And I got into photography. I started kind of taking pictures here and there for friends and families, and just your typical, that's what every photographer does when they start off. So I did that. And then I got into homegirl needs a job. So I started getting your typical jobs. I've worked at Aeropostale, I worked at American Eagle, and I worked at Chick-fil-A. And in doing that, photography kept getting put on the back burner. And it was and it was literally my camera was sitting on the shelf collecting dust and just use me please. And I'm just no, I got to make money because, I need to pay bills. So I never picked up my camera. Fast forward, my husband and I got married, and then I had my daughter. So we decided that I was going to be a stay-at-home mother. So after having my daughter in 2016, I was a stay-at-home mom, and luckily I didn't have any postpartum depression. But they usually say that stay-at-home moms, they should get into something that's an interest, something that's, not just being a mom every day, because you kind of get a little nutty, you get a little crazy, because, that's all you're doing every day. So my husband had suggested, he's like, why don't you pick your camera back up? And I was like, yeah. He's like, why don't you do something you love doing? He's like, you've always wanted to do photography. I was like, you're right. So I picked up my camera again, and I started taking pictures here and there. And then he was like, you really should just do what you want to do. So I said, okay. So by that time, it was 2018. So I turned 29 that year. And I I made a commitment to myself on my birthday. My birthday's in December, so I turned 29 December 2018, and then the following year would be, 2019. And on my birthday, I decided that my last year of my 20s, which would have been 29 when I turned 29, that I was gonna put everything I had into photography. I was gonna make it what I did every single day. So I was like, this is what I'm gonna do. And it wasn't something that I kind of went on the rooftops and shouted, I'm gonna do photography and this is what I'm gonna do. It was literally like to myself, and it was like a commitment. I didn't tell my husband about it. I didn't tell anybody about it. I just kept it to myself, and I was like, I'm going all in. Like, that was my mindset. Like, we play poker sometimes, and like, all in is a terminology. Like, you're going all in. You're putting all the chips in. So I was like, I'm going all in. So I went all in, and what that meant to me was every month I had to do something towards photography. Whether it was learning a new skill, whether it was going out and taking pictures for somebody, whether it was just anything that revolved around you did something towards photography. So that's what I did. And then a few months had gone by, and then I had started joining networking groups, which is the one I'm still a part of, which is WomTech. So I started doing that, and that opened the door for me of like, wow, networking. Like, networking's like this big deal. So I got into networking, and then I realized it was so much more than building a website, because I built a website for myself like years ago, and I was like, okay, I made a website, now what? Like, where are the people gonna come in, right? I made this awesome website. Like, that's what everybody thinks. Like, you put all this work into a website, and you feel like because you put work into it, it's just gonna produce like clients, and that's not the case. Like, that's not what happens. So that didn't happen, obviously. And then I learned networking was like this need. Like, you need to meet people. You need to put your face out there, or else nobody knows what you do. Even if you post stuff online, generally the only people who are gonna see it are your friends, your family, maybe some of their friends. That's it. But unless you network and you kind of reach out there and get your face out there in front of other people, then they're not going to know who you are.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. You answered like every question I asked.
And that's a wrap.
All in one, right? That's great. But
great. The passion basically came from my husband reminding me to do what you want to do. I became a stay-at-home mom, and it was pick up your camera again. And then I made the commitment to myself when I was 29 to go all in, and so I have, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So the passion came from, this is what you wanted to do, this is what you've always wanted to do since you were a teenager. It's time to pick it up and do it. Excellent. There we go. There's a recap.
Well, hey, and so you mentioned networking, which is definitely going to be a part of what we do, but also, as I mentioned to you, is that we're trying to come up with a system where we can also provide grants. I mean, would a $5,000 grant be able to help you in your growth and continue what you're doing?
Yeah, especially photography equipment is not cheap.
Yes.
It's not.
You might get a nice lens or two.
Yeah, no, second camera body. I already have my eyes on one.
Fantastic. So what is your website?
My website is nevereverwonderland.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure meeting you.